Scissoring poodles can be quite easy if you know all the steps. If you want to see how to style a poodle with perfect angulations and balance, keep on watching. This is Kitty for Kitty Talks Dogs. I have a video every first Friday of the month. If you haven't subscribed yet, you can subscribe and you will get a notification when there's a new video. Today it's all about the T-clip. I have been calling this clip the T-clip for a very long time, but in many other countries it's called a different name. For example, in Scandinavia it's called the Scandinavian modern clip. In other countries it's enhanced modern clip, and maybe there's other names in other countries. You're very welcome to write in the comments down below how you call this clip. In this style, we make the top line really quite long. It means that the hair in the neck stays quite long. It also means we try to have the back of the poodle quite horizontal, and where the neck starts or where the shoulder starts, we go upwards and the neck stays long. Today I won't use any snap-on combs because I simply want to style with scissors and make the poodle as elegant as possible. And also it's very important to say I'm gonna make it the angulations in the front and the back come out as much as possible. Today I'm gonna groom Jojo, and Jojo is a medium poodle. I know in many countries you don't have that size, but the medium poodles is between 35 and 45 centimeters. Jojo is owned by Fien Hoerland, and Jojo's real name is Perfect Thoughts Secret to Success, and Jojo is bred by Martien Cliqueteur from Belgium. If you see any of the products I'm using and you like, there's a link down below. If you click on the link, you will have a list of all the products I'm using in this video. And here let me introduce to you Jojo. Jojo is very excited. It's like Jojo knows she's gonna have a groom. And here you see how long her hair is, how curly, and I can't wait to start grooming. As you can see, Jojo is a very young dog. She's been born in 2019 and still has a very soft puppy coat. So it will not be a very easy job. Let's start with some clipping. I like to use the Heiniger style mini for the little paws because the teeth of this clipper are really very narrow, situated very close to each other, and if the teeth are so narrow, you won't have a chance of hurting the dog, and you will go very close to the skin and you'll have a very nice finish. So we won't do a lot of clipping, but here we are doing the feet. For me, shaving feet is something which is very important, and it's something I like to take time to do the feet. Even though the clipper blade is nicely rounded and the teeth of the clipper are very narrow to each other, you can still hurt the dog by pushing too much over the little bones or over the little knuckles on their feet. So be gentle with the clipper and just go over the clipper where you need to without pushing too much. It's very important you push with your other hand gently so the little toes open up so you can easily shave between the toes. Further, it's very important that the line here is very straight, and you just, after you have finished the bottom part, you make a nice line. When you have a nice straight line, it will be easier for scissoring to have a nice round bevel at the feet. Here you see me with my finger go above the nail and just rub the nail. I am pushing the hairs which are a little sticky next to the nails upwards so I can easily shave them off. It's very, very easy. Just gently squeeze a little between the two toes and pick side per side. So I scoop out all the hair on one side of the toe and then on the other side. For shaving out the pads, I really like to take the two outer toes and take them gently and twist the feet a little, not very much, just a little, and not lift it up all the way so it's really comfortable for the dog. And here I'm showing you the end of the pad. I really like to shave from there to there. Although it's going in, I like to make a line here, and then when I turn around I see this line nicely and I can follow the nice line from the back to the front. Here you see me scooping out every single toe in from the inside. And then when I'm finished that toe, I go to the next toe. And here you saw me taking the hairs on the nails, which were a little sticky to the skin. And by doing with your thumb like this, holding your thumb, and while you are pushing the hair up, the hairs stand up, and then you can shave all the little hairs away. And here I'm showing on my hand which line I use. I use the line from the back to the front, and then I turn around the feet and I follow that line. For shaving in between the little toes, you can shave from the top to the bottom, from the top on the front, in between. What you cannot do is, I'm showing here, I'm twisting the machine, and this is what exactly you cannot do. You can go inside and stop at the end between the two toes and then go backwards again. But if you go in between and then you like twist the clipper, you hurt the dog. It's a very uncomfortable feeling. And if you do this, it's possible the dogs will start pulling away and feeling uncomfortable and not letting you shave the feet. I highly recommend you try this on your own hand. Just go in between with a clipper blade and twist between your two fingers and see how it feels. You will actually experience how uncomfortable this feels. Here now you see me going on the bottom, and I'm like taking the bottom part and not going straight on this little part. Here exactly you see me holding the little toes, like I explained before. I'm taking the two outer little toes and twisting them a little bit to the outside. It's uncomfortable for the dog when you want to lift the leg right up, so I try to go down myself and don't stretch it right up and try to twist it too much. So here I was showing how not to do it, and now I'm showing you how you can do it. This is comfortable for the dog to stand, and if you do it this way, the dogs will let you do everything we need to do in a comfortable manner. And now we are doing the back legs, and it's the same method here. We are taking the two outer little toes and taking them to the front, and this way we can scoop out all the little hairs between the pads. Here as well you see me at the back of the pad where I'm making a nice line over here from the left to the right, and further I'm going to turn around the paw and just follow this line which I've already halfly made. Not in many dog breeds we do this, but with the poodles we want the feet to be like neat. All the hair needs to be gone, because if not, even in between the pads there can be mats, and they can stick like little bits when you go walking, little sticks or whatever, and it's really necessary that a poodle foot is nicely and every hair is gone. Here you see me how I'm slowly but gradually making sure all the little hairs are gone in between the two toes. I don't know if you notice, but Jojo is really letting me do this. This is because it's not hurtful. He's in a comfortable position, and the clipper is also not very noisy. It's not vibrating too much, and we're doing all the right things to make it as comfortable as possible for the dog. And here you see the finished little feet. Here you see me using the Heiniger Midi clipper, and I've switched to this clipper because it has more settings, and I'm using the shortest setting to do the face. Let me explain to you with this drawing where and how far we clip with the clippers. And let's start with this point over here. That's the Adam's apple. And behind or below the Adam's apple, it's like going a little in. So when we are shaving, we come over here, and this is with the direction of the coat, and we stop here, but we don't really stop and go back. We like go a bit further, but instead of going further and following the skin, we just go down a bit, so this little bit hair stays there and doesn't follow the dog's outline. And actually we make like everything in the front of the nozzle, we go against the hair direction, so we shave in that direction, and we like make a virtual line just where we put our two hands, and everything in front of the line has to be, for me, like clipped against the coat growth. And everything from this line has to be clipped with the coat growth. And here you see the second line, how far you can shave, and everything from this line is going with the coat direction. I'm going against the direction of the coat. Here as well, I'm gently shaving, not pushing too much to the clipper, to make it as comfortable as possible for Jojo. And here you see me like stretching the skin and holding nicely firm the muzzle closed, so the dog doesn't put his tongue out and accidentally licks the blade. I'm very careful in these things. You see me like always going as much as possible against the direction of the coat. And here, just in front of the eye, the coat is like growing forward. So also here, I'm trying to go against the direction, so this is towards the eye. And here as well, you see me like shaving below the eye. And before I do that, I am trying to stretch the skin as much as possible. Jojo is a very young dog, and here you see how much Jojo has been groomed before, because she's just a very, very good girl, and she lets us do everything because she's simply very used to being groomed. Here as well, you saw me doing where the chin is, and you saw me like stretching as much as possible the skin, because at the edge of her lips, it's very loose skin, and to make it comfortable and not to shave over the crinkled skin and hurt the dog, it's better to stretch the skin as much as possible. Here you see me following the dog's body, and as you can see, it's like going in and then out. At a certain point, when you follow the dog's natural line, when you look from the sides, the profile, the chest is like going in. This is the point where you have to stop shaving. If you shave further down, you will see like a dip, and then afterwards, when you see the dog walking and you see the profile, you will see like the dog has a dip here, and that's not very nice. So you have to stop shaving where the coat goes in. Here you see nicely, it's still a straight line, and it's not really too far down. And now let's shave some tummy work. I like the tummy to be really nice and clean and neat. So here I'm going with the clippers around the nipples, especially further forward. I'm trying to go as far as possible, so around the nipples it's nice and clean and there's no hair sticking out. So afterwards, when you are scissoring, you don't have the feeling you need to go scissoring around the nipples, because that's dangerous. So I prefer to go really short with the clippers. And now the tail, I like to go against the direction of the coat, and I like to go really far down, and I like to then take the tail up and down in movements, so I see only the tail is moving and not any skin around the tail. I shave where the tail comes out of the body. And here you see me like moving the tail up and down and don't see any skin moving, so that means it's okay. And now here you see me using the corner on both sides to make like a small V, just so I can go really short against the body. After the bath, I will be very comfortable with my scissors when this line is perfectly shaved before the bath. Now let's do some nail clipping. Jojo hasn't got very long nails, so in this case I'm only using the nail grinder. I'm just going to clean up the sharp edges and just round them off. And as you can see, I'm holding the nail grinder in my hand and I'm using my thumb as a pivot. You can see with the nail grinder how quickly you can round the nails off, and you can even see like the nail going smaller very quickly and see dust going around the nail. Now let's do some ear cleaning. Today I'm going to use the ear powder and tweezers and the ear care with the bamboo sticks. First I'm going to use the ear powder, and I'm gonna like clean out all the hairs around and in the ear. I like to have the ears very clean and very airy. That means I'm not only gonna take the hair inside but also outside to make them as airy as possible. And I like to use the powder, it gives me very much grip. It's just very comfortable for the dog as well. It calms down the skin, so you can nicely clean out all the hairs around the canal and in the canal. I'm using the finger condoms to take out as much as possible hair, and afterwards here you see me using the forceps for the hairs like really inside the ears. To do this, I like to take like the outside of the ear and like not really pull, but like stretch the ear a bit so I don't accidentally grab the skin. If you like hold the skin a little tight, you have less chance of nipping with the forceps the skin. And here I was using the ear care. I like to use a lot of ear care. I like fill up the ear canal with the ear care and then like massage gently and let the product dissolve all the wax and all the dirt inside the ears. After 30 seconds or a minute, all the wax has dissolved, and then with the big Q-tips you can easily clean out the ears and all the wax and dirt will be gone. And now the ears also are squeaky clean and have a very fresh smell. Now we are ready to go to the bath. Today for the first shampoo I'm using the Hydra Odor Neutralizing because that's a very good shampoo for the first use. For the second shampoo I'm going to use the volume because I would like to have a nice volume, and Jojo is a very young dog and it needs like the volume shampoo. For the conditioner I've chosen to use the Hydra Volumizing Mask, And I'm doing this because Jojo is a very young dog with a very soft coat, and I really need the volumizing mask that will help me to have a nice scissoring work and to be easy for combing, and I won't have a coat which is too soft. I first made sure all my shampoos were ready and ready diluted. And here you see me wetting Jojo in the bath. Here you see me using the odor neutralizing shampoo, and I'm first putting it everywhere before I start washing. And here I'm starting to wash. I'm massaging everywhere with like a firm grip, also between the little toes and in between the back legs, the front legs. And as Jojo is going into the bath weekly, it's not really necessary to keep on massaging and keep on washing a very long time, because Jojo is not really very dirty. And here you see me rinsing. I really like to rinse everything away from the shampoo, because I think when we massage we get all the dirt like loose, and it's only with rinsing that all the dirt goes away. Here you see me applying the second shampoo. The second shampoo is the Hydra Volume shampoo, and here you see me massaging everywhere very well, between the little toes, the chest, the front feet, the legs. Applying a bit more shampoo because it was too dry, and again applying a bit more and rinsing. To know exactly when the shampoo is all rinsed properly, you like go over the coat again and again and again, and as the shampoo is slowly being rinsed out, once you get like a squeaky feeling where you cannot go straight anymore among the wet coat, but you go like in pieces like this, then it means it's really clean and all the shampoo is rinsed out. Here you see me applying the Hydra Repair Volumizing Mask, and this product I really like to leave in for a few minutes. I'm massaging everywhere to make sure the volumizing mask is really everywhere evenly distributed. Then I leave the conditioner on for like 5 minutes, and then we start rinsing. Here it's very important to nicely rinse and massage until all the conditioner is rinsed out. Don't be afraid to rinse out too much, because the conditioner has now been like absorbed by the coat, and the coat can only absorb a little bit of the conditioner, and the rest really needs to be rinsed out if you want to have a good finishing with the scissors. And when I think I'm finished rinsing, I will try to rinse again all over to see if everything is rinsed out. And now we are ready to do some drying. Here you see me using the Magic Towel. I'm like from the old school, and I really like the Magic Towel. I like the Magic Towel because it absorbs like 3-4 times more than a towel, and I really like to use the Magic Towel and rinse it out and see all the water go, and then I do this a few times before I start using the dryer or towels. Here you see me using the K9 Power Blaster with the flat nozzle, and it's really going well. The flat nozzle is normally for like longer hair, but as it's going very well, I'm just continuing with the flat nozzle. I will use the Power Blaster to blow out most water until it's like half dry and the coat is straight, and after this I will use a stand dryer and with my slicker brushes pull out all the curls. Now let's do some brushing. Here you see the Tougher Than Tangles on the left-hand side. The Tougher Than Tangles on the left-hand side is my brush. It's designed by me and it's one of my favorites. And it's the only original Tougher Than Tangles on the market. And then we have the new Showtech Flex brushes. Here you see me using the Rapid Cyclone dryer, who also used to be called the Speedy dryer. It's one of the dryers which has been on the market the longest, and I really like this dryer. It has a very good nozzle. It has a wide nozzle which you can turn around totally, and it's a dryer who you can use for a very, very long time. When I still had the salon, I had that dryer for 25 years, and after I sold the salon, it was still working. Here on the ears, you see me using the Yento Mega Pin brush, because the Yento Mega Pin brush has longer pins, extremely long pins, and the longer the pin, the better it is for the longer difficult coats. Once I get through everything, I am now using the Tougher Than Tangles brush to take all the curls out, because the Tougher Than Tangles brush is a very light brush and it has perfect angulation in its pin to grab the coat while you are with the warm air from the dryer drying. You can grab all the coat, and with the angulation of the pins you can take all the curls out and make the hair very straight. You see me here finishing up with the Smooth Touch Slicker. With this slicker, the slicker has very short teeth with also a very good angulation with a very long handle, and I like to do the finishing with this brush because its pins are very narrow to each other, and you can really do the finishing to fluff up the coat to maximum possibility with this Smooth Touch Slicker. Here you see me switching to the Tougher Than Tangles because I couldn't get through the coat so much, and the Smooth Touch Slicker is so soft and its little pins couldn't go through the coat, so I need to change now and then to the Tougher Than Tangles. Here clearly you see me with the nozzle with the dryer directing exactly where I want, and if you can see closely you will see that the coat has a star where the dryer is drying, and it's very important you can direct the nozzle everywhere on the coat, so everywhere you can brush where the coat opens and it's all evenly brushed and every single place is brushed out. I like to part the legs in different parts, and here you see me doing from the back side to the inside of the front leg, the front of the front leg and the front side of the front leg. It's only this way that we are sure that we haven't forgotten any parts. It's the only way we are sure to have every single hair without any curls. And if you have every hair without any curls, it's the only way you can scissor the poodle perfectly. For me, poodle grooming, the most important is still the prep work. And I'm showing you this spring to show you that this is actually a very long spring, but because it's turned, it's shrank. And we have exactly the same with poodle hair. Here you see as well, it's not like a spring, but still it's a little curly. And for me, we're really not prepared correctly. And if it's prepared like this and you will scissor, you will never have a good finish. And let me show you why. So we are scissoring, and the hair is cut here, and it looks all good. The comb has passed, and after the comb has passed, we see this. As you can see here, one hair is stretched, one hair is more curled, and this is the finish we will have if we don't prepare our dogs correctly. And now let's see, this is hairs which are prepared correctly. They are all straight, they are very well fluff dry, with the warm or the hot hair, not really hot, preferably warm, and a slicker brush. And they are all very straight. And now let's see what happens. We scissor and we comb, and we can comb as much as we want. The dog can go outside, inside. If the hair is prepared correctly, the hairs, you can comb them and they will stay straight, and you will have a very good finish. So this is why we slowly but correctly need to take this step very serious and make sure all the hairs are as straight as possible. It's also one of the reasons why you see me, for example, here with the tail. I really like to go against the direction as much as possible, because when you go against the direction, you can pull the hair more, and if you pull the hair more, the curls go away quicker. And here, let's do some checking. Here you see me combing, and you see how easily the comb glides through the coat. Yay! Now we're ready to do some scissoring. Here you see the scissors I'm going to use. It's a mixture between Yento and Utsumi. The 3 left scissors are Yento. It's the Chunker from Cobra. It's the Ergoline 20 centimeters, and it's the Sparkle. For the Utsumi scissors, I'm using the Yo, the 90, 22 centimeters straight, the 80, 20 centimeters straight, and the Yo Big Straight, which is 20 centimeters. I really need the space where normally the hair from the ears is everywhere. So me personally, I like to wrap the ears very much. And here you see me using the Showtek. Here you see me using the Showtek wrap. And if you do this, you can nicely, without any problems, scissor where the ear normally is. You can gently wrap around the hair from the ears without any tension, and this is self-clinging, and as you can see here, it's very, very easy to do, and it's fun afterwards to be able to scissor around the ears without having to worry to cut hair from the ears. Here you see a picture before the grooming of Jojo, and as I want to explain a bit more to the depth about poodle grooming, let's have a look deeper in the coat of Jojo. Here I see that the body is quite long according to the legs, and I also see that the top line is like gradually, so I don't really see a difference between a top line or a back. I see like the neck is like starting here and then suddenly. I also see here that there's not a lot of coat left. So let's go a bit further and look right under the dog to the naked dog living under all that hair. Here you see the dog, the naked dog like has a straight back, you see the neck, you see the paws, and you see actually what we have to make, or what we have to try to make. And what I want to say is the poodle should be as square as possible. Here you see it's very difficult to groom Jojo very, very short, but for sure we need to just forget about all this hair at the front and at the back, and really, in the first place, make this as short as possible. And here, that's the drawing of what we are going to try to make from Jojo. So here you see we're going to try to cut a lot of hair here, make the back straight, make the feet straight, and here also as much as possible hair away. And here you see the drawing again with the naked dog, and I'm showing you because I here want to more exactly speak about making square or making the poodle as square as possible. And here I see a very clearly back and a very clearly top line. And this is the horizontal and the vertical. And I'm not saying, or for me, it doesn't need to be exactly at the top line, doesn't need to go exactly at the end of the back legs, but I really try to like visualize a vertical line here and a horizontal line here, and also I also make very sure that the back legs are very straight and vertical going down. Now I'm saying this, it really works for me. I'm not saying I'm the best poodle groomer in the world, and all what I'm going to say here in this video is things that help me to groom poodles, and they really work very well for me. Here you see I'm trying to create really a lot of hair at the neck. See how long the hair is here. Here I see an oval, and I've drawn the oval here because for me here at the shoulder and the chest and the tummy, this is like one line, and I really don't like it when there's things sticking out too much here. I like it when it's fluent. And here now see how much hair there's left at the front and at the back. If we want to groom poodles and make them fit in a square, we have to be really very careful not to leave too much at the front and too much at the back. So don't be afraid to cut the front and the back like very short. On the contrary, look how much hair there's still standing at the hawk. So here it's all short, and suddenly all this hair behind the hawk is really very long. And here as well at the front and the front, here it's actually very short if you compare it to the back, but it's most of all very straight from the top all down. And here I also see like a little nick here where the knee is. It's not going straight, it's like this is the knee, as you will see later. I want to show you this drawing because of the horizontal here and here, and again the vertical lines. The front legs are like parallel, and the back legs as well, parallel down. Here you see the poodle's skeleton, and I'm showing you this for the angulation, the front angulation and the back angulation. It's just very important we know where the angulations are. I always go short here to emphasize the angulation and to make the angulation come out. I always go very short here, so I automatically follow this angulation, and here at the back as well we automatically go very short here, but the knee is very important to let the knee come out. So this is really not a straight line, it like goes down and then a little bit, so you see a little bit here knee. Here you see the rib case. The rib case of a poodle is like slightly round. It's very important when you groom the poodle that you follow the rib case and that you not try to do this straight. The rib case is like nice and round, and you really have to follow with your scissor this round, nice shape. This poodle statue was made specially on my K-Design drawings when I was judging at Pet Fashion Week in 2008. It was designed by Mario Di Fante, and it was presented to me after judging as a present. And it's very beautiful. It still lives in my house, and I wanted to use this statue to show you where exactly I look to see the outlines. So when I'm gonna come over here on this side, and actually this outline, so exactly we are standing opposite of each other. So I just want to show you, when you are standing in this position, you can scissor it on this place, but not in the front. If you want to scissor at the front, you need to actually turn yourself or turn the dog so you can scissor at the front. Here now you can also scissor this part at the back, and actually what I do is to create the angulation here, I always look exactly to this point, and when this point is short, I slowly turn the table around and I further the point here. So then I'm gonna scissor this point, and then I'm gonna scissor that point, and gradually I'm gonna go to the front. So now I can scissor here, now I can scissor here, and now I can scissor there, and now I can scissor all that. If I scissor here, and this is straight on, I can maybe scissor this equally, and maybe it's going to be a nice finishing, but then when you turn the dog around, you will have hurt this rounding, and you cannot see exactly what you're doing. And now let's do some scissoring. Here I've just combed all the hair down, and I'm just slowly making the bevel. And here I'm showing you with my comb how long the hair is at the back and at the front. You see a drawing of the poodle with the naked poodle under it. And let's have a look at the front and the back legs. But most important, you see how much hair there is here and here. But what's actually more important is we leave more hair at the back of the front leg and the front of the back leg. So actually we make this position smaller, and because we make this position smaller, the dog has the appearance of being shorter. He has a shorter back. So here I'm going really short against the chest, and this is the first point I always do, and one of the most important points in styling poodles. Here I'm going to take my time to go really short. Must you feel the chest, you will feel that there's not much hair left. I like the front legs to be really straight. It means from the top to the bottom, a straight line down, vertical, not diagonally,
diagonal.
Not diagonal, but really from the top to the bottom straight. That's my first line I scissor when I scissor poodles. Here you see me scissoring this line and combing and scissoring this line until I'm happy with the result. As straight as possible from the top to the bottom. I'm not touching the hairs from the top line, but on the side of the ears, on the side of the neck, I'm really going very short, and I will take the ear, put it down, remember that place, and then scissor under the ear as short as possible. Here you see me combing up again and then repeating my scissor work. And now gradually I'm going to do the rounding from the chest, and here you see me lifting up the front legs and doing the tummy, the chest, while the dog is standing up nicely on its back legs. And here as well you see me working on the second front leg, and here as well I'm showing you that the front leg is really in the middle, and now I'm going to try to shorten up the front leg, the front of the front leg as much as possible, to also have the dog look shorter. It's not something you can rush, but you just need to have a look from the side and just go in the coat, and don't be afraid to make the line as straight as possible. Here as well you see me lifting up the ear, and where the ear normally lies down, under the ear I will go very short. And here now I'm going a little bit further down the coat on the sides. Here you see me scissoring at the side, And here I'm showing you, now I have like the front finished and I really need to see where I need to work. And the first thing I will do is make the back and the neck visible. The back, as you can see now, starts from real back at the tail and goes slightly up. I personally don't like this very much. I like it when the dog has a straight back until the shoulder or where the neck needs to start, and then go straight up from that point to the neck. Then in this case you see a back part and a neck part. Here I am not afraid to go really deep in the coat. As you can see here, I'm chopping out all the necessary hair to see the back and the neck. And now I will comb and go over once more, stack the dog right up, and now you can see the back and the neck. And here now you see me continuously using the comb and scissor again, and the comb and scissor, until all the hairs are nicely and neatly scissored. Here you see me working on the chest. Here you see me going very short at the side and cutting a nice round bum. He's right side. I really like to lower the table and look over its side and just go scissoring like this. I think you can see the other side very nicely and neatly, and make sure this way that both sides are balanced. Here again I'm going over where the ear normally lays, and I'm trying to have it balanced with all the other hair and the top line. Here I'm gently going over the sides and making sure the back part and the front part are running in each other smoothly. It's very important that you stack the dog correctly and that he's like nicely standing up to do the whole front part to make it nicely balanced. Here you see me using the chunker above the groin, and there I'm going really short. In this part I really like to use the chunker, because with the chunker you can do a little bit with a little bit at a time. Some people like to finish with chunkers, but I'm not one of those. I really like to finish with the normal scissor because I think it has a cleaner finish, and I would use the chunker to model or to like find the line, or where the angulation is to go really short, but then I would scissor and finish the whole scissoring with the normal scissors. For me the front part is extremely important, and here you see me finishing the front part totally. Sometimes you need to do the sides and a part of the back to see how long the dog is, and that's then when you can finish the front part. Here I'm doing the neck part and the side parts, and I'm really trying to make the dog look as short as possible, which is not easy because Jojo has like a longer body. And that's why I'm continuously working on the front to make him look, or her, as short as possible. Here you see me working with the chunker in slow motion. As you can see here, Jojo is really not very slim, and with the chunkers I'm really going very close to the skin. Actually, at some parts just above the groin you can see the skin. But I'm trying to make Jojo as elegant as possible, so I really had to go so short there because Jojo is not really very thin. And it's not because you are not very thin if you are a poodle that you cannot look like very thin. Here you see me working on the shoulders, and it's not like it's all very straight. It has a very straight leg, but it has some more and longer hair on the shoulders and on the body, because the poodle is not like straight, the poodle has a chest. Here you see a drawing from the front. I'm showing you this to show you the rib case is not straight, so don't be afraid to follow the rib case and don't make this area straight. And here again with the chunkers on the other side, I'm going really short above the groin, and you see the nice rib case, you see the nice style, and you see it's not all straightforward, it's styled. And now let's do Jojo's head. Unfortunately, Jojo's head has a little flat part at the back of the head, which needs to be slightly a little bit longer to look more elegant. So we don't have to cut very much at the back of the head, we just need to make it even and be careful not to cut too much at that place. I like very much to cut first on around the eyes, that this line between the eyes and the ears is very straight. I don't like it to go up, but I really like it from the ears to go out and then around. It's very important for me that the hair above the eyes is very short. While you are working on the top line, the part at the back of the head, it's really recommended you take the dog, you make him stack perfectly, and you hold its nose with the nose horizontal. So this is horizontal, and you don't make the dog look down or pull him up. If you hold the dog's nose horizontal, you can do a perfect top line, and it will be all neatly running into each other without having any dips. Here I'm scissoring all the hair at the back of the hocks short. As you can see, here is the drawing of the back leg, and diagonally we scissor very short at the bottom of the pads, and at the hock it's very long, and just go around the front to make it as round as possible. And then we can do some combing and repeat this part. Here you see me doing the other side of the back legs. Past the pads I really go very short. And now I am lifting up the poodle's feet, and I am like going extremely short where he is folding. As you can see here, I nearly have a bald spot, but I am really not afraid of bald spots. I do this all the time, and I make this part really short. Here as well, on the other side, I lift the hair up, and where he is folding, I really go extremely short. And now I really don't like hair sticking out at the bottom part, so here this part as well I am going very short. As you can see, I'm going to round off the part now which is short at the tail and very short where the dog was folding. I'm not going to make this part straight, but I'm like rounding it off. The angulation is not coming from the top part, but the angulation is really coming from the bottom part. And here on this picture you see exactly what I'm trying to explain to you. I see straight lines parallel, and I see diagonal lines parallel. And this is how I think when I groom back legs. It's not really 100% parallel, but in my mind, if I have a view here, I make sure I have at one point the same line here. Here I'm trying to show you how short it is, and in a minute I'm gonna go all the way to the back, and where it's short I'm gonna like scissor and take the shortness with me, and you will see I'm gonna go towards the front of the dog to see this angulation correctly. And after I finish the back part, I'm going to finish the side, and I'm going to stand more to the front of the dog to see the angulation correctly. Here as well, you see how short the back part is. It's also very important you can scissor the knee and you have the angulation in the back, and the angulation should be the same in the front. In the front part of the back leg, we are leaving the hair as long as possible. You remember that the back, you remember the front legs, the front part was so short and the back part of the front legs is long, and here it's just the opposite. We've now made the bum part as short as possible, but that means that the front part of the back legs needs to be as long as possible to make the dog look shorter. And here, looking from the side, you can see the angulation, and we are even going shorter with the chunkers here to make it as short as possible and to go really close against the skin. Here we are finishing between the back legs and doing some combing and scissoring and combing and scissoring to finish as nicely as possible. Last but not least, the tail. And here you see me combing the tail, and I'm like combing and twisting the hairs at the back, holding where the skin is, and then like scissoring neatly everything off. And now I'm going to comb the hair right up and make the tail as round as possible. Here you see a finished Jojo, and even a Jojo running around in the salon. Here you see how elegant Jojo can be, although he's very tired. Here you see the before and the after pictures from Jojo. I'm really happy with the finishing. This was Kitty for Kitty Talks Dogs. Thank you very much for listening. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you are interested in any of the products I have been using, there's a link down below which you can click on and you'll have a full list of all the products. Keep on grooming, have fun grooming, enjoy grooming, and just love your pets as much as possible.